Today's video features Princess Hilda of Luxembourg. Born in 1897, Princess Hilda was the third child of Grand Duke William IV of Luxembourg and Infanta Marie and of Portugal. William IV eventually had 6 daughters, which led the Parliament to amend the succession law to grant the princesses minimal inheritance rights, but that came later. At the time of Hilda's birth, William IV and his wife were still striving to have a son. It was not until the birth of their 6th daughter, Sophie, 5 years later, that they finally accepted the reality. Being a middle child and not a male, Hilda's presence was extremely minimal, almost invisible. Her name was chosen to honor her father William IV's sister, Hilda, the last legitimate Grand Duchess of Baden. The 6 Luxembourg sisters took photographs together, and Hilda often blended into the background. Despite having multiple children in succession, Marie-Anne remained in robust health and was not debilitated by giving birth to 6 children in 8 years. In contrast, Grand Duke William IV had poorer health and died early. In 1912, William IV died just 2 months before his 60th birthday. The eldest of the 6 sisters, Marie Adelaide, immediately became the first female Grand Duchess of Luxembourg. It is said that she was deeply religious and had no intention of marrying, even without the later events influencing her decision. At the time, the presumed heir was the 2nd daughter, Charlotte, while Hilda, the 3rd daughter, remained largely in the background. Grand Duchess Marie Adelaide lacked political acumen. When World War I broke out, she did not prevent her sisters from becoming engaged to German or pro-German princes. For instance, Charlotte was engaged to Felix of Bourbon-Parma, the brother of the last Empress of Austria, Zita, and the 4th sister, Antonia, was engaged to Ruprecht, the last Crown Prince of Bavaria. Indeed, Marie Adelaide cannot be solely blamed for this, as she had not yet reached the age of 18 when she ascended to the throne, and her mother was primarily responsible for arranging her sisters' marriages. Although the 4th sister was already engaged, Hilda was also considered for marriage. There were rumors at the time that Prince Sigismund, the nephew of Kaiser Wilhelm II and 1 year older than Hilda, was interested in marrying her. This prince was fortunate in avoiding hemophilia, being a great-grandson of Queen Victoria. However, Hilda had no interest in marrying into the Prussian royal family and even explicitly stated that she would prefer to enter a convent if forced. Later, in 1919, Sigismund married Charlotte, the daughter of the last Duke of Saxe-Altenburg, and they had 2 children. By the late 1920s, the family moved to Costa Rica and rarely returned to Europe. On January 9, 1919, under pressure from France, Grand Duchess Marie Adelaide announced her abdication. A few days later, Charlotte, who was only 23 years old, succeeded her as Grand Duchess. This change in the succession from the eldest sister to the 2nd sister elevated Hilda's position from obscurity to being the presumed heir. However, Hilda likely did not place much importance on this shift. By the end of 1919, Charlotte married her cousin Felix, and it was anticipated that she would soon start a family. As a presumed heir, Hilda was expected to be replaced relatively soon. In 1920, 23-year-old Hilda met her future love, Prince Philip Albrecht of Württemberg. 4 years her senior, both shared a deep interest in agriculture. Although the duchies in Germany had lost their legitimacy after World War I, Württemberg still held significant influence. As the future heir, Philip Albrecht was destined to inherit a vast estate of land and manors. The prospect of Hilda marrying him and working together on the estate seemed promising. Not only were they both talented and well-matched in social standing, but they also genuinely loved each other. Consequently, they announced their engagement that same year. However, their plans for marriage soon faced harsh realities. Hilda might consider herself unimportant, and given the extensive influence of Germany within European nobility, marrying a German prince might not seem like a significant achievement. However, the people of Luxembourg view the matter differently, and so does France, which has established an economic alliance with Luxembourg. Due to strong external opposition and the fact that the official heir to the Luxembourg throne, Grand Duke Charlotte's eldest son Jean, had not yet been born, Hilda remained the nominal presumed heir to Luxembourg, making her position still crucial. Given this, Hilda had to break off the engagement. After breaking off the engagement with Hilda, Philip Albrecht married two granddaughters of the last Grand Duke of Tuscany, Helena and Rosa, in the 1820s. Helena passed away after giving birth to a daughter, and Philip Albrecht subsequently married her sister Rosa. He later had a large family with many children and grandchildren, and Duke Karl of Württemberg, who passed away a few years ago, was his youngest son. Between 1921 and 1922, Hilda's three sisters all got married. After the birth of her nephew Jean, Hilda finally relinquished her title as the presumed heir, and her marriage was no longer of crucial importance. However, it still received widespread attention, with even a suggestion to arrange a marriage between her and the British heir apparent, Edward, who would later become Edward VIII. However, as Hilda was a Catholic, the possibility of this marriage was zero at that time. After bidding farewell to her lover, Hilda showed remarkable calm and composure regarding the matter of marriage. With her nephews being born one after another, she returned to a more ordinary life. She had ample time and space to study botany and agriculture, and she enjoyed various sports, no longer caring about whether she would marry or not. After spending her 30th birthday as a single woman, both the people of Luxembourg at the time and Hilda herself probably believed that she was unlikely to marry. Sometimes, the turn of fate in matters of marriage can be quite unexpected. In 1930, at the age of 33, Hilda suddenly announced her engagement. Her fiancé was Adolf, from the wealthy Czech noble Schwarzenberg family. The man, already 40 years old at the time, likely shared Hilda's calm attitude towards marriage. It was believed that their shared interests in botany, wildlife, and outdoor activities were reasons for their union. As for Adolf's height and appearance, it is believed that Hilda did not mind much. Because Adolf was not German, they were able to marry smoothly in Luxembourg that same year. Hilda's wedding tiara was the same as her second sister's, the Luxembourg Empire tiara. It is said that Hilda was closest to her second sister. During their honeymoon, Hilda and Adolf fell deeply in love with Kenya and, 3 years later, secured a 999-year lease on a farm in the Laikipia region of Kenya. The farm was later named Mpala Farm. The couple was passionate about running the farm and actively participated in the construction and management of infrastructure, including dams, power stations, irrigation systems, and bridges. They both enjoyed this period immensely. Given their late marriage and lack of children, the absence of offspring seemed insignificant to them. With the rise of Hitler, Adolf expressed strong disapproval of him and explicitly opposed Nazism, which led to the confiscation of all his property in Czechoslovakia by the Germans. After the war, these properties were not recovered. Fortunately, the existence of Mpala Farm provided them with an unexpected refuge, allowing them to retain a way out in their time of adversity. Unfortunately, in 1950, Adolf died suddenly of a heart attack, just like his father-in-law, William IV, whom he had never met, failing to reach his 60th birthday. To avoid being reminded of her sorrow, Hilda decided to move back to Luxembourg and subsequently sold Mpala Farm. In September 1979, Hilda passed away at the age of 82 at Berg Castle in Luxembourg. Besides her second sister, Grand Duchess Charlotte, she was the second longest-lived of the 6 sisters. Despite the early death of her husband Adolf and their lack of children, Hilda's life was likely still filled with joy and fulfillment. It is worth noting that Adolf's wealth was considerable. Not only did they own property in Italy and Switzerland, but during World War II, when they fled to the United States, they also successfully acquired a 2,000-acre estate in Vermont. The Mpala Farm, which they had invested so much effort into, later became an important biodiversity research center. It is said that Adolf valued wildlife conservation, and this fulfilled one of his wishes. Additionally, the bridge they built connecting the estate to the nearby town was named Princess Hilda Bridge and is still in use today. Looking back, Hilda's lack of children with Adolf might seem like a regret, but if she had married her former fiancé, Prince Philip Albrecht, she might have faced similar challenges with childbirth as his first wife did. Sometimes, fate indeed makes the best arrangements.